on. I think we're late, everyone. We're late. Yeah, I know.
Word on the street is that we're late. This has been the word on the street.
Yeah, so I'm late by about a week, I think. Right? It's been a week since a real stream. Hello everybody. We are back on this beautiful January 14th, 2024. I hope everyone's having a great day, night, afternoon, midnight, wherever you are in the world. I'm certainly having a great day myself, and of course, we are joined by Mr. Luke.
How's it going, Patriots? Real American is back.
Yep, back
Like
from
we
my
never left,
vacation.
you know?
So yeah, I hope everyone,
Go back.
I'm glad everyone supported me the last week. It's been, it was my first real break in about 4 years. But yeah, I took a break, took a week off, and well, I'm glad. So I hope everyone's excited for the new content because we're back to the daily content. Again, I had an update video yesterday talking about the channel, working some projects. So yeah, welcome back everybody. Welcome back everybody.
Welcome back. That extends
2025.
to
I messed it up already. I said
I know.
2024. Oh my gosh.
And also, I'm probably gonna start doing videos again as well. So we'll see on that one.
Was it a good?
Also, rap might be doing higher quality
Yeah.
videos. Not too
So
sure.
I'm talking to some people about that. We'll see, but yeah.
Also, what's going on with AFI? Sorry, what happened to the podcast?
We're doing weekly. We're doing.
Oh, you're still doing that?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what happened.
Yeah, we're doing a weekly. I don't know who's on this week, but we'll see. Like I talked to Mark
Also,
about that.
thank you guys for endorsing my boss yesterday. He really needed that.
Yeah.
So,
Hope Hilario wins. We'll see. All
yeah,
right.
we're cooking. Pretty much his entire slate of people has won at all the branch caucuses, so we're feeling pretty good about him winning again.
Let's see. Streamer's never late nor is he early. He streams precisely when he wants to. That's real. Was it a good break? Honestly, I wanted to do a bunch of things, but I kind of didn't. I just wanted to sit and chill to figure out some stuff, and
You got your gaming in. I know.
Yeah,
Rap.
played a lot of CK3 and Hoi 4. I gotta be honest about that. Wasted a lot of time on those games, but yeah.
Very true, as one does. As one does.
All right, now before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, join the channel, and if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or just want to support the channel even further, best way is sending super chats via the chat. Again, I read through as much chat as possible, and, well, we got usually super chats, best way your questions answered, and like usual, we have a super chat goal of 20. Again, I don't know how that works. That's YouTube for you. So, yeah, 20 super chats, and we'll extend the stream, I guess. I don't know.
If you donate your entire bank account to Real American, he'll bring back mornings with Real American.
No, that's not coming back. I don't know yet. We'll see. Mike,
I'll help you, dude. I will film them for you if you bring them back.
All right, Mike for 2 early. Yeah, I'm early, totally. A glitch Evie for 2. Word on the street is rap is Pete Hegseth. Yeah, speaking of Pete Hegseth, they're doing a hearing today, and that was the dumbest thing I ever watched. I watched 5 minutes of it. I said, no, this is dumb. Like, all Democrats are doing it like, oh, well, you did something bad, and you're a racist, you're sexist. It's like, I thought we were done with this. I really thought that we were done with, yeah, everyone's a sexist and racist. Everyone I don't like is that. But
I think Hegseth is going to be like a straight down party line vote.
yeah, I think he will.
Like all of them. Maybe Murkowski will vote against him. I'll be like, all Republicans vote yay, all Democrats vote nay. Now, at least we got Jim Justice here. But DeWine needs to ASAP pick a senator in Ohio. Like, sheesh,
Yeah.
we can't let that seat be open. Just put Husted in the seat already. You know, like
yeah, it's gonna be him. I think we'll see.
At least Jim Justice took the spot, so now we got
because he had to wait.
Back to 50. So now we're back to 52. Because we were at 51 for a couple days.
Yeah, for those that don't know, West Virginia had a weird thing where, like, there were, like, 10 governors in 2 days or something. It would have been chaos, but they kept Jim Justice there for a couple days, so.
Yeah, so that seat was vacant, but there were 2 missing Republicans for a couple days because Vance resigned and Jim Justice hadn't been sworn in yet. Now we're up to 52. Let's get back to 53.
Yeah, which is not the end of the world. I don't think it's the end of the
world. I know,
world.
just fill the seat with Husted. Like, what's the point of not doing it right now?
All right, a glitch Evie for 2. Where are the read that already? Chief Officer Henry Wilder for 5. What is your stance on the Trump 2028 crowd in the GOP? That's not going to happen. Trump's not running again. Like, that's done. He's done after this. he's gonna be president for 4 years, which we'll get to his
No,
favorability
there's
in a
not,
second. But
dude. There's not gonna be an election in 2028. He's just gonna win unanimously.
that's real.
We're gonna abolish democracy, dude. And didn't you hear Project 25? It's happening. Um,
Yeah, we'll see. A glitch Evie for 2, the Hawaii senator was so annoying to listen to. Yeah, I mean she's nuts. So, American Nerd for 5, glad to have you back, Rap. Also thoughts some of the hearings for Trump's cabinet picks are getting delayed because FBI background checks are slow. Well, yeah, it's stupid. Like, I highly doubt that we're gonna see any of
someone's
the
on.
what? Oh, hello, Joan.
Oh,
John.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
yes, we can.
Alrighty, that's good. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing good. You guys talking about the Pete Hegseth nomination?
Yeah, we're talking about that. Like, there's a bunch of hearings.
Oh,
gotta
we're
get through.
talking about kind of the transition in general.
Yeah. So yeah,
Pretty cool.
that whole
I
thing is
mean,
a joke. I'm not
If
even gonna listen to
possible,
it.
real quickly, I kind of want to get to the Supreme Court race real quick because I got to get going in a minute. Because I just want to kind of give people an early outlook on the Supreme Court race as the Wisconsin politics guy on the stream. Can you guys hear me? Am I good?
Yes.
You're good.
Yeah, so I'll tell you guys this. We're feeling very good about Brad Schimmel. He just got a $400,000 investment he just made in the markets. He has a new ad out, which is good. So we're on the airwaves first. We're actually spending money on this race. People know who he is. I think he's probably going to win, and it might. I think the odds are much more likely that it'd be a landslide in favor of him than a landslide in favor of the opponent. Like, I think probably say he'd have a 60 to 65% shot at winning at the moment.
I
We'll
actually agree
see.
with that.
That could change.
Yeah.
But like Schimmel's the favorite to win as of now.
Yeah, I
No
think
one
Brad
knows who
Schimmel's.
Susan Crawford is. Yeah. So, and if you guys don't know what that means, if Republicans, if Brad Schimmel wins this seat, it means that Republicans will retake the Supreme Court in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Which
I think that he's gonna
yeah.
win. I don't see how.
Yeah, which the Dems took the court back in 23 with Janet paid to switch, as we all call her in the Milwaukee GOP
Oh
or Wisconsin
gosh.
GOP.
Lord
Yeah.
Rhino for 5. Does Rap understand Hoi 4 Navy? Would be a great video to make. No, I just spam destroyers. That's all I
I
do.
am gonna get going though right now
So-
because I was being up.
All right, see you, Luke. Yeah, for Hoi 4 Navy, I just spam destroyers in Air Force. So that's the way to do it. Chance Trazik for 2. Why did boomers in Wisconsin shift so far to the left this year? Well, again, like I've been talking about this for a while. These are not the same old people that they were 20 years ago. They're not really well. Some are shifting, I think, but it's more so that they're replacing the. Is it the greatest generation? Right.
Greatest generation would be the previous generation before the oldest generation. I thought. Are their greatest generation still alive?
I can't remember. It's the one before boomers. Like they replaced the generation before boomers.
1901 to 1927's greatest generation.
Yeah. What's the one after that?
Lost generation. Oh wait, no, that's the previous one. The silent generation.
Silent.
That's what we were looking for.
Yeah. So the silent generation, like they were actually like conservative and stuff. The boomer generation replaced them. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So again, like that doesn't mean that there's been no shift with old people. There's been a shift with them, but it's more so the fact that the silent generation get replaced by boomers. And well, boomers are way more liberal. That's just a fact. But yeah. Chief Officer Henry Wilder for 2. Not gonna lie, we need Trump 2032 to keep him until he's 90. No, just let the guy rest after 2028. He's done enough. Just let him retire and let Vance win.
People severely underestimate what has happened over the course. And what I'll say, this may have not been possible if Trump's terms had been consecutive. The fact that we had 4 years to build up this massive external infrastructure to DC, you guys just don't understand. He has influence over so many different media outlets. He has influence over a large cabal of politiques that are operating outside of the control center of DC. So, like, when Trump leaves, he's not leaving. he's still going to have a lot to say. Like, we always talk about like how Obama was secretly controlling Biden's term and everything. You think that that's not going to happen with Trump? You really think that we're not going to do the exact same thing? Are you dumb?
Yeah, Trump's gonna still be there, but he's just not gonna be like actually in charge. But
No. The dynasty is real, especially if Laura Trump ends up in a significant place in a state or federal government position. And of course, everybody is constantly looking at Don Jr. Don Jr. is
that's not
not going
happening.
anywhere. No. What I'm saying is Don Jr. He's not taking any position, but what he's going to be doing is he is seen as a political guru. He's been making a lot of very top level decisions, including JD Vance as vice president. So he's not leaving the space. There's going to be a lot of influencers, is what I'm saying. Basically, there's a cult of influence around Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Everybody around there is in the game, essentially.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like it's obviously we advanced after Trump at this point, and that's gonna happen. But yeah, you
Yeah.
still Trump's still have a big influence, but it's not gonna be like he secretly is running everything. That's not gonna happen. But he's gonna have influence still.
Oh no, he's gonna have major influence. And what I would tell people is that actually, I'm curious about all the jockeying Ron DeSantis is doing right now because I wonder what his aim is there. Because he just called a special session after the Senate refused to for funding mass deportations, and he hit the state of Florida has now called a special session to fund mass deportations for the state of Florida. It's really I'm not trying to look at it cynically. I very much deeply appreciate my governor's extreme seriousness about the issues that the voter base cares about. But it's just like I do have to think about like what's the extra motive here? Like, what does Ron DeSantis want to be a stopgap between Trump and Vance? Does DeSantis want to run after Vance? Like, what is going on with Ron DeSantis? And because he's making a lot of plays to the base in the past couple of months, it's very interesting to see.
I just got this gut feeling to run at 28. He's gonna do it, and he's gonna get clobbered. But we shall see. We shall see what DeSantis does. K Cub for 2. Just got here. How's it going with Pete? Democrats are freaking nuts. That's all I gotta say. And do I gotta say much more than that? I mean,
Yeah, it was so bad. I mean, I was sitting there. I was doing a couple of things for work, but I was on the TV in the living room, and I just sat there and I would just yell at the TV as I heard things. Well, I was cursing at the TV listening to it. It's really bad.
well,
Really bad, guys.
it's like they ask him like, yeah, do you support like shooting Americans or something? It's like, what the hell are you talking about? What? Like, it's unbelievable that this is a serious committee here, but I think Hanks is gonna make it through. I think it's gonna be a party line vote, but I think he gets through. Barely,
Yeah.
but I think he barely gets enough support. American Nerd for 2. What do you think Fetterman talked to Trump about? I don't know. Apparently Trump and Fetterman had a good conversation at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily want anything to happen with Fetterman. I'd actually rather him stay where he is or become independent as a senator, but it does remind me distinctly of when Tulsi Gabbard first went to Trump at the early days of the Trump administration. There's an interesting parallel between what Fetterman's doing right now and what Tulsi was doing back then. So at the very least, we have some cooperation going on. Maybe for Fetterman's agreed to a couple of different Senate bills, or maybe the resolution at the start of the year. I hope whatever Fetterman's doing, it's to help us and not to try to sabotage anything in the Senate. So
Hold up. We got breaking news out of California as we speak. So
God.
apparently they have started a recall effort against Newsom. They're starting another recall effort. So, okay, this came out, I guess, late last night, but now people are talking about it. So, I mean, I still don't think Newsom goes down in a recall, but I think it's be a lot closer than it should be. I mean, he's handled this such a he's done a piss poor job with the fires. I mean, like, John, how close do you think this recall would get if they actually get through with it?
You mean like doing a recall in California over
Yeah,
all this?
apparently they're pushing for it now.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is Gavin Newsom's throwing water on it, and he's trying to give all of the people being affected essentially a break from all of his insane and stupid policies. But I only think it's going to actually impact and prevent the upper class from rebelling because the time frame that he's given for the relief on the permits and all of the other BS that makes it horrible to rebuild your home in California, he's only really given a time frame that allows the richest people in California to be able to rebuild their homes. So you may see the, middle bracket, upper middle bracket, lower middle bracket, and the lower class definitely vote in some new blood, new people everywhere. Definitely want a new mayor in LA. Absolutely, if that's possible.
I think Bass is done. I think she's done. I mean,
That's
it's
probably done.
yeah, but Newsom, I still think it gets closer just because like he's done such a piss poor job. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I just find it funny that the second that he has a political crisis, he magically says, oh, wait, these environmental regulations we have to save the earth. We can get rid of it for 5 minutes. It's like, wait a minute. I thought the whole point was the earth was going to die in 5 minutes. Why do you got to get rid of it? It's like, what does it tell you about these regulations? They're full of shit. These regulations are not needed, but magically, oh, when they talk about if we need it for years, now we don't? What changed? What changed from a week ago? It makes you really wonder, like, why? If you know it's bad policy, why implement it? Why? Alright. American Nerd for 3. Thoughts of Trump's external revenue service idea? Well, I'll talk about that a little bit. That is an interesting idea Trump had today. James O'Day for 2. If California wants change, vote Newsom out. Well, Newsom's term limited, but they can recall him, so... Chief Officer Henry Wilder for 2. What is your most right-wing stance on something? Ooh. Probably immigration, I would say.
Yeah.
Immigration.
I think that's where we're all going is immigration because we know like there's an existential aspect to it. And it's not just like, oh, well, everything's gonna fall apart and crash if we don't severely reduce immigration. No. It's like a fundamental philosophical right of a country to freely choose who comes in and who goes out, and like that's we control that. Like it's freedom of association on the nation state level. We get to choose who we're friends with. We get to choose who our neighbors are, ideally. And that right has been eroded from people on the individual level and on the state level. And so I think that's why we're all very deeply far right on immigration. It's because we want that right exaggerated actually right now because they're trying to take it from you.
Yeah, I think that's my most right-wing stance, probably immigration. Now, if you ask for my most left-wing stance, it'd probably be healthcare, but I'm not going to get into that. I have my own take on it. I'm not saying I support, like, socialized medicine, but I have my own opinion on healthcare, but... K-Cup for 5. My dad sometimes works with State Farm. He asked them about California. The California government was making it impossible for them to cover anything he heard. Yeah, so that's apparently what happened. So State Farm, apparently they could not raise the prices.
Right. If I covered this in a video on my channel. If you guys check out John Rose, I said it's called "California is Killing California," not State Farm. I take 7 minutes to explain this, and the TLDR, they were trying to enact socialist policies to prevent premiums from going up. The insurance business just is unfeasible in that area with the risk that high. And I actually like showed you the numbers of like how much State Farm makes a year. If they had to cover like a large portion of that disaster, like based off of the policies they rescinded, it could have destroyed the company's profits for, like a whole year, or, like if they had to cover everything, it'd obviously make them insolvent. But even just what they were supposed to cover, it's a disaster. It's like no company would voluntarily sign up for that. It's self-immolation. It's like setting yourself on fire.
Yeah, I did not know that originally. Then I read into it. It's like, oh yeah, they will not raise the prices because that's California law. Which I don't get. Like, everyone knows it's a shit policy, but they just implement it anyways. Why? I don't get the motive of it. Why do they just implement it if everyone knows it's shit, and no one does anything about it? I don't get that. Like John, what's your honest take on that?
I'm completely 100% on board with Victor Davis Hanson, who believes that it is the utopian left wing that it has completely ideologically captured a large portion of the upper class in California. I know it sounds really weird to talk about class warfare, but listen, guys. there are really benevolent, wonderful rich people in this country, and then there are completely like down the drain evil rich people. And ideally what you want in a system is you want to reward the benevolent rich people and you want to try and replace the bad rich people. Well, unfortunately in California it's completely stratified. Like in spite of socialism, highest income inequality in the entire country. It's a medieval fiefdom. And the reason these bad policies go through is because those utopians that lobby and control California politics essentially just decide, well, this is morally right, and I'm going to impose what I think is morally right on the voting class, on the lower class, and they can't do anything about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
That-
actually, I
that-
didn't think about it like that.
That's Victor Davis Hanson. Go listen. Like just look up. He has some of his podcasts on YouTube. Just look up Victor Davis Hanson, California, and you can find like just listen to him for like 10 minutes. He will explain to you what's wrong and instantly.
Why are people talking about Mel Gibson? I know he went Joe Rogan, but like, why are people talking about Mel Gibson in chat? What I miss?
I think Mel Gibson went on a podcast.
Not
Was it Joe Rogan's podcast?
It was Joe Rogan. I
Yeah.
watched it. He had some. Yeah, it's definitely Mel Gibson. That's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, I don't get why people are saying some stuff about him. Let's see. Did I miss something?
Well, I know Adam Carolla. Mel Gibson may have joined in on the conversation Adam Carolla started, which was like kind of the idea that people would revolt against these ridiculous policies now that they're having to deal with them, especially like with the house rebuilding thing. But like I said, I think that's the most. I'm sorry, I keep coming back to it. It's the most disgusting thing about all of this is that you make terrible policies, you impose terrible policies on the populace, you give them no real choice for like no real alternative because only Democrats can win in California. And then when your policies make people's just completely destroy people's lives, you set rules to exempt the people that are basically the rich people that can do it within the time frame you give. You exempt the rich people from all of your policies and you make every single middle class or lower class person suffer. That is the most disgusting thing about the LA fires beyond the Act Blue money laundering. Like that's also pretty bad.
Wait, what?
But, well, yeah, no. So Elizabeth Warren and Gavin Newsom both are promoting people to donate to the wildfires through Act Blue. And if you guys go look up Data
serious?
Republican, yes, they want you to funnel your money through Act Blue, which if you guys don't know, is the Democrat money laundering scheme. And so if you go to Data Republican's Twitter account, she did a thread yesterday and the day before talking about like following the money trails. It's actually what she's doing right now. She's looking at a bunch of nonprofits. Essentially what she found out, for every $10 that you send to Act Blue, here, I'll try to find it for you. She's been posting a billion graphs because she's investigating all of the nonprofit circles. And just the TLDR of all the work she's doing right now is all of these charity companies that work through Democrats, they just give money to each other in a giant loop, and then barely anything gets to the people that actually are needing the money or the purpose of donating the money. But Data Republican basically made a graph showing, made a thread explaining that for every $10 that you send to Act Blue to help the LA wildfires, bare minimum $4 of it disappears. Bare minimum.
What? Holy
Yeah.
shit. I'm looking at this graph here. What the hell am I looking at? Oh my gosh. They pull this
It'll
up.
take me a few. Yeah, it'll take me a few seconds to
This is
see
a graph
on the.
between donations and United Way chapters. Oh my, holy shit.
Yeah, no, it's really impressive work. Data Republic, I really like Data Republican. She got a lot of following because of her very accurate analysis of the 2024 election. Now she's like burying into the numbers of all of these very corrupt, deeply corrupt nonprofits. It's yeah, no, they all
This
donate to each
graph's
other.
insane. There's like 30 different bubbles. Basically
Yep.
they're just donating to each other. It's a money laundering. Yes. Oh my gosh! Wow.
They ask for your money to help for disasters or puppies or to help a specific protected category get jobs or anything else. All these nonprofits, and instead of giving your money to the people that you wanted it to go to, you're basically funding the pensions and the salaries of all the people working at these like various nonprofits. It's really sad.
All
It's
right.
it's deeply sad.
Chief Officer Henry Wilder for 5. Last question. What's your stance in the 2020 election? Do you think it was, you know what? I have a very complicated take on that. I'm gonna say that big tech interfered. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
Anyways,
the safest take is just to like take what JD Vance has said when he was grilled about it and just to repair that. I think that's like the easiest thing you can do. And I think like a lot of us in the community think there's more to it, but like like just go listen to what JD Vance
big
said
tech
because he
interfered. I mean, that's undoubtable. I
yeah
mean, even Zuckerberg's admitting that now. So,
yeah yeah no
uh,
it's been
Chance Drazek for 2. Biden named the aircraft carrier after George W. Bush. I'm not surprised by that. American Nerd for 2. I think Mel Gibson's house burned down. Yeah, I know that, but I don't know why people talk about Mel Gibson. American Nerd for 5. California Democrat politicians are freaking useless and annoying to the point that I'm surprised more people acted like the dad from the 70s show towards them. Well, I mean, like, the problem is, like, Democrats have controlled California for so long that you can't really do anything about it. But maybe that's changing. Maybe that's changing.
okay. I'll link this article from Daily Mail to you in the general, but this is probably why they're talking about Mel Gibson. He promoted a essentially conspiracy, and
Oh, gosh.
he acknowledged it's a conspiracy as he was saying it's a conspiracy. But here's what he said: I can make up all kinds of horrible theories up in my head, conspiracy theories and everything else. But it seemed a little convenient that there was no water. Gibson said. I believe like 5 days prior that the mayor had or somebody in charge had drained one of the like main reservoirs that would have helped in this situation. And that the wind conditions were right and that there were people ready and willing and able to start fires. And so yeah, he was saying I don't know if they were acting of their own volition, if they were crazy people, or if somebody commissioned these
Well, we
people
know
to
there's
start
looters.
fires.
We know that for a fact there's looters going around starting fires.
Oh yeah, no, there's absolutely looters. That's disgusting, and it's really funny watching Governor Newsom moral grandstand over looting being bad. It's
All
like
right.
the ultimate hypocrisy.
American Nerd for 3. What the F is this graph? It hurts my eyes. Well, this is what Democrats do with their operate. Well, and there's a lot of organizations like this. They do this crap where they make it so complex, you have no clue what the hell's going on. It's a big money trail. It's like, what the hell? Someone had to be schizophrenic enough to figure this out, by the way. Someone
Yeah.
had to design this.
Well, yeah. So essentially, what Data Republican is fishing through in these things is she's following the money trail. Okay, you give your money to X organization for whatever cause. But you believe in a cause, you give it to United Way or whoever else. Then it goes from United Way. It doesn't actually go directly to the people that you're trying to help. It goes to another company, and then it goes to another company, and it goes to another company. And what Data Republican found out is that if you follow the trail long enough, it gets back to the original company. They're all feeding money to each other in a
Yeah.
loop.
It's a scam. Which, I mean, it's not nothing new, but this whole thing, there needs to be like, they got to enforce the laws of this. This is ridiculous. This is insane. I know.
There's got to be a crackdown on this.
I mean, and of course, it's always Act Blue's involved. Every time there's like money laundering, why does it seem like it's always Act Blue that's involved? Every time they're always involved somehow.
Well, like bare minimum, like 4 or 5% of everything you donate through Act Blue is going to be donated to electing a Democrat representative in your area. So it's immoral on its face that any percent of what you're donating to help somebody in a disaster situation is going to elect the same people that caused the disaster. That's immoral. But what's even more immoral is that you look more into it, and then it's about $4 out of every $10 you donate that gets funneled through and ends up in the pensions of someone at Axe Blue or United Way or whoever else, whoever's involved in helping. You like most of your money, a large chunk of your money is going down the drain and not going directly to people. There are easier ways to do this. There's got to be a better way to organize this. These things need to be shut down because there's obvious malfeasance going on. Like there's malpractice, there's fraud going on.
K Cup for 5.
Here.
That chart looks like my layer drawings when I was working in my BFA. My art professor told me to start drawing and not erase anything until it was done. Well, I mean, this just demonstrates like how complicated and bullshit this is. This is ridiculous.
Like if you're looking at the graph and you're having a hard time like understanding what it does, understand that each one of these little blue circles, the vertex is what It's an organization, and then think of the line as where the money's going, and then look at the large giant circle encircled by a bunch of circles you're looking at. It's all the big circle. All the money goes back to it feeds around itself in a loop. That's what you're supposed to see from the graph.
Oh my gosh, this is
yeah.
insane. This is actually
Yeah.
insane. Like, I gotta look more into this. I don't know. That might be a future video idea.
Oh
I
yeah,
might.
no, definitely. Yeah, go down her timeline because like she's also done stuff on like the exact amount of money of taxpayer dollars, federal taxpayer dollars that are going to lesbian groups, LGBT, black rights, and black work, and like all this other stuff. And like she showed proportionally that like any money that's going to like a conservative org under the same premise, it's way infinitesimally smaller than whatever's being sent to these giant DEI groups. It's really bad.
All right, a glitch Eevee for 2. Boomer cons have ruined the world's BAM for me. What? Well, boomers ruined a lot of stuff, but I don't know what that is.
The word BAM?
I guess. The word he must have meant the word BAM. I don't know. Wasn't that black circle on the right that's by itself? What? The black circle. What? I don't see the black circle. Oh, by itself. That's the arrow for the other picture. Twitter.
Yeah, there's multiple pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, look, holy shit. I just realized this. United Way of Greater Milwaukee. Gross receipts, 60 million. Government grants received, 5.9 million. Direct, 600, blah, blah, blah. Contributions received, 30 million. Grants given. And yeah, you could tell, like, they give it to United Ways of Plains, United Ways of Dane County. This is all freaking Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Sorry to keep you waiting, complicated business.
Oh, hey, Real Texan. We're
Hey,
talking
Texan,
about
yeah.
this freaking scam that Data Republican found. Holy shit.
The what now?
So, John, explain this to him because you
Right. So just one more time for the audience and for Texan. Data Republican has been doing a lot of work investigating the nonprofits. This started, Texan, by the way, in investigating where the money was going with Act Blue, because Senator Elizabeth Warren and Governor Gavin Newsom, who both belong in prison, forgive me, they both belong in prison. They're asking people to donate to the wildfire funds through Act Blue, which I'm sure you're very familiar with, the Democrat money laundering. So it's where they turn millions of dollars into tiny $5, $10 donations. Project Veritas has done a lot of work exposing that. Well, at the very bare minimum, 4 to 5% of all of your donations go to electing the Democrats that caused these fires in the first place. But the real cruelty is that you look through it, and Data Republicans looked through it. About $4 out of every $10 you donate, 40% of your money that's supposed to go to victims of a fire is going to the pensions and salaries of like a bunch of middlemen. And you know, like, oh well, organizations have to exist. If you don't want to pay people that run organizations, then you're just dumb. But the problem is, and what Data Republicans pointing out, all of these organizations feed money into each other in a giant freaking loop. There's a billion middlemen, and before your money goes anywhere it's actually supposed to go, it has been, people have been taking pennies and pennies and pennies out of it. Like, the old practice, like back in Roman times, when they had coins, the reason we have ridges on our coins today, guys, is because it makes it hard to chip off pieces of metal off of the coin and like sell it as like scrap and stuff. That was the traditional reason you put ridges on coins, because people would take coins that were minted by the Roman Republic and then the Empire, and they would scrape off little bits of the metal off of each coin and then melt that and sell that. So they were basically stealing from the coins themselves. This is what the Democrats are doing with your donation money to any cause, any disaster, anything like that. If it goes through Act Blue, if it goes to United Way, your money, just if you're giving them $100, kiss goodbye to 40 of it. It is going to elect people that hate you, and to the pensions of people that hate you.
I'm reading chat and like someone brought this up. Yeah, United Way of Greater Milwaukee, they gave themselves $79,000. What?
Yes.
So they just like, yeah, here's $79,000 for ourselves. What? You're telling me no one's noticed this before? You're telling me it took some random account on Twitter to figure this out? Oh my gosh.
I see that now. It's at the top left on the screen. Yeah, I
Gave
see that.
themselves
That's
79,000.
They gave themselves
Oh
$79,000.
yeah, no one notices. Yeah, they just give it to themselves and no one cares. I thought they have to disclose this, don't they? Yeah, they have to. So you're telling me the government knew about this and did nothing?
Basically.
They just said, yeah, here's $79,000 and call it a day. Totally nothing fishy. Walk Talk 21 for 5. Mark Robinson started the fires because they were, oh my gosh, they were hot and he wanted to buy some flames. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that. K-Cup for 2. Edit the graph into the Charlie Pepe Silva meme. Chief Officer Hunter Wilder for 2. You should try to get regular politics on stream.
No.
I don't think he would want to, but I don't know. I'll talk to him. I don't know. SOVN for 27. Obama Speechwriter Podcast gets money from this. Does he actually? I won't be surprised. They will get money from this.
I believe so, yes. I think that's a real thing. And again, I know it's a lot of information and it's hard to parse through, but if you want to take a deep dive, please just look up Data Republican on Twitter. Like her feed is just a constant flow now of this. You can find these graphs she's been making. She's not stopping, and actually I believe she's now asking if you want to support her financially. I believe that she set up a Patreon or something. I'll try to find that for you guys. But basically, if you want to fund her per month, she will take time out of her day every day to expose stuff like this. That's kind of what she's promising to do now. So that's really cool. We always like smart people exposing Democrats wasting your money.
Right,
and I feel like they're probably also trying to raise that money for another reason, and that reason being that there's probably going to be at least one recall election in California later this year.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a recall.
There's going to be at least try, but the main one is going to be for Los Angeles mayor and for basically Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom.
All right, Mega Bayers has been a member for 5 months. SOVN for 27. Tim Pool did a great segment on this. It's wild. Okay, so I didn't mean to interrupt you. Real text.
I'm planning on making a video about this probably later this month, but kind of like as an overview of the 2025 elections. But basically, I don't know if they'll have time to collect signatures to recall Gavin Newsom, just because that's you got to get for the entire state in like maybe 3 months, which I don't know if that's doable. I think they can't. I think they might be able to at least get signatures to recall Karen Bass.
I think she's gone.
Because that's just the city of Los Angeles. So, that's 3.5 or so million people compared to like 35 million in the entire state of California.
What the hell is this? Okay, I found another chart by Data Republican. Planned Parenthood operates in a way I had expected United Way to, as a single umbrella organization provides funding and support to its local chapters. What the hell is this?
Yep. Well, this is why the Democrats are scared shitless of us defunding Planned Parenthood on a federal level. It's because, what we're going to tell them is like, oh, well, it's so simple. Just have the states fund your women's health care, quote unquote. But the actual truth is that if we successfully defund Planned Parenthood, which your federal taxpayer dollars shouldn't have, there is no reason that they have to go to Planned Parenthood. If we defund them, this all collapses. It all falls apart. Like you literally
the entire Democratic Party collapsing.
Yeah, it is. How much money do they get from taxpayers? Now think about it. How much do they get?
I mean, basically, if your tax money is going to Planned Parenthood, which in turn is basically going to Democrat candidates.
Yeah.
So in a way, you are indirectly donating to Democrat candidates for your tax dollars.
You're either donating to Democrat candidates or your money is helping kill children. So it's like, pretty bad both ways. It's total taxpayer dollars. It says 203 million on the post that you just made.
203 million. So, okay, how much did Harris spend in 2024? Was it 2 billion?
No.
So. And they get that every single year, and they just pile it up every year. So you're told probably half of their. Oh my gosh. So half their money comes from taxpayers, because you have to assume there's other organizations like this. You have to assume so, not just
Which
Planned
probably means
Parenthood.
my tax dollars might have went to the Kamala Harris campaign.
They did. They probably did. Or actually, well, no, our taxpayer dollars didn't. Just the deficit did towards the Harris campaign.
Yeah, well, I guess judging by when tax day was, they probably went to the Biden campaign instead.
Oh my gosh, this is nuts. I mean, this is
Oh,
freaking
but
insane.
if you guys, I'm putting it in chat. I'm about to drop it in chat right as I speak. I'm gonna wait a couple seconds because there's lag. But if you follow this tweet, you can see Data Republican. If you go to Data Republican's account and you can either subscribe to her Twitter or you can you can subscribe to her Substack. Either way, if you're sending money to her, it enables her to quit her day job and basically focus full time on exposing Democrats and exposing all of this for the general public to understand. So,
All right. Chance Drazik for 2. I just found Mr. Beat blocked me on Twitter. Yeah, did he block a bunch of people for like?
Oh yeah, he went on a blocking spree after the election.
he better have me blocked. I called him a big fucking loser, and he is. It's just you guys like see. I know Mr. Beat was liked by a bunch of people because like he had this center grift. He was like, oh well, I'm just a historian. I'm just explaining cool historical facts to you in video format. But like, do any of you, after the live streams he did in the 2024 election season, do any of you believe that anymore?
No,
Do you
that
not
guy's
see
lost.
I think
him?
after January 6th, he went basically full partisan Democrat mode.
Yeah, he's a loser. He's a loser.
Which I mean, which I think, in fairness, a lot of like left leaning, and I think a lot of like slightly left leaning independents basically did.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people did. I mean, Mr. B, he used to be fine, but it was really January 2021. He just lost it.
Okay.
Same thing with
I mean, I think
Loser.
Adam Kinzinger even teased the party switch.
Oh gosh.
But I don't know. I don't think he's gonna do it because he makes a lot of money just basically being a pro democracy Republican.
Pro democracy.
Democracy.
LT has posted in 2 months. Yeah, I wonder why he hasn't posted. I'm curious about that.
Also, do y'all see what Jennifer Rubin looks like now?
What now?
No, I mean like that video she did where she was announcing her retirement from Washington Post because they're too pro-Trump now.
I don't watch it. No, I don't. I honestly don't pay attention to her. If I'm being honest.
You know, it's amazing. Like this person literally used to be a Bush Republican, but now she looks and basically talks like a resist lib, and she is a resist lib now. But
yeah, they all are. It started in 2016, but it was really 2021 that these people just went off the rails completely. So, as soon as I heard he did something with LT a few years ago, I stopped watching it. Well, I mean, Mr. BT used to be fine, but yeah, he just he let his partisan politics get into everything. So, Hudson Dean for 5. Many boomers grew up in the late 60s, early 70s, and were hippies listening to communist songs like Imagine. Well, I mean, yeah, that the boomer generation, there's a bunch of reasons why they were.
Jimmy Carter's favorite song, by the way. Jimmy Carter's favorite
Was
song.
it actually his favorite song?
I think so, yeah.
The problem wasn't just the hippies, but the problem was that everybody who wasn't a hippie eventually embraced what the hippies were talking about. That's the problem. Everybody
By the
is
way,
indirectly or directly.
I mean, Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood performing Imagine at the funeral. That's not just them wanting to do it. I mean, there's a reason they performed Imagine. It's because the family obviously wanted it, but it's probably because that was Jimmy Carter's favorite song.
Huh. But yeah, I mean the boomer generation, like they do a single good thing. I'm not trying to bash a bunch of people for being boomer. I'm not saying every boomer's a bad person, but let's be honest. What has a boomer generation done in 60 years?
In Reagan we trust.
Basically, that's all they've done. Reagan, they supported Reagan, and that's it. That's the only thing they've done in the 70 years. They have to, every single positive that the silent generation did, like the country they built, these idiots ruined it. I'm sorry, it's the truth. And
you have like this Democrat congresswoman that's a new mother, and I mean, obviously, I think she's just giving birth or is about to, and you know, wants to vote remotely, you know, to care for her child, and
yeah, these boomers are like, Oh, strap up your bootstraps. It's like every time I hear that, the whole bootstraps thing, these
I mean, didn't they
people.
do? I don't even know. Did they do that with Anna Paulina Luna
I thought
when she
so.
gave after she gave
Uh,
birth?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but did you guys talk about Trump's announcement about an hour ago or a little
Yeah,
bit
we're gonna
earlier
Oh
get to
yeah,
today?
that.
the ERA.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Uh,
We'll get to that in a second. I want
oh,
to talk about that. But yeah, so like this generation, like you go to her comments. Can someone bring up the tweet?
Um,
Can someone bring that up? Because
yeah, let me find it. I think Al Carbo tweeted about it. So
yeah, Al Carbo posted it. Let me actually bring that up. But yeah,
I
these idiots. These are real tweets, by the way. Let me pull this up. All right.
got the tweet here.
Yeah, I found it too.
So Brittany Peterson. Now this is a Democrat. I believe she is from
I think
Colorado. Today marks the first day I am unable to fly to DC for votes due to travel restrictions ahead of my due date. It shouldn't be this way. Congress must pass my bipartisan resolution to allow members who are new parents to vote remotely, which I believe is also supported by Anna Paulina Luna, who's also a new mother.
hell no.
All right, Chance Drezik for 2. Boomers still love Bush. Enough said. Hudson for 2. Trump is a boomer. Lol. Again, I'm not saying every boomer is bad. I'm just saying, like, as a whole, the generation was a failure. That's the truth.
Oh, no,
You
I don't know how many get.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Get some Hall's cough drops, my man. That's
Yeah.
what I have to do around this time. I have a giant bag of Hall's cough drops in front of me to try and not do that.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, if any of you guys have talked to people who are really into the competency crisis, one of the biggest things they'll talk about boomers with is basically all of the boomers that have advanced skills in carpentry and building and construction and like all these things, like all of these major trades. They do not wish to pass down their expertise or tools or anything like that. We basically fostered a culture of selfishness in the last half of the 20th century, and that selfishness made boomers decide, well, I don't have to transfer anything down to the next generation.
Yeah.
Not knowledge, not skills, not
There
time,
was
not
this
like
poll. I'm sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but there was a
yeah. Go
study
ahead. Go ahead.
conducted. I can't remember which I can't remember. It was which pollster was. I gotta look it up. But there was a poll they conducted where they asked each generation a specific set of questions like, will you pass down your money to the next generation? Will you blah blah blah? All that stuff. The stuff you're talking about. Every generation except one had basically this like 95% say yes. Only one. Take a guess which generation that was. That I can only
What
imagine.
did?
In Reagan, we trust.
Yeah, the boomer generation was the only one where a plurality, or I think a majority actually, were saying, no, I don't plan on passing down my money or whatever to the future generation.
Suck
What?
it up, you commie avocado toast millennials.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's selfish, it's greedy. They're the only generation that actually believes that. No other generation, millennials, Gen X, Gen Z. No, I guess, well, Gen Alpha is too early to tell, or Beta. What is it, Beta now?
Yeah.
Well, all the beta babies are
My
like
child will not be a beta. I am gonna find any word other than beta to call my kid. You freaking no. No. I refuse.
No, you have to
My
do
child
it.
will not be a beta.
I always want to
By the way, one last question I have. I tweeted this out a little bit ago. I do have class in a little bit, but of the three people I'm going to be listing, who is the least likely to be confirmed? Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, and RFK Jr.
Tulsi Gabbard. I think Tulsi. That's my take. I think it's Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah. Honestly, my hot take is that I think at least one of them will not be confirmed.
I think RFK's got it. I think he's got enough support. So
RFK probably because you do have some bipartisan support. Bernie, I don't know. That's a 50-50 because like he supports the food stuff, but he's opposed to the vaccine stuff and then the fluoride in water. Like he doesn't want taking the fluoride out of the water, and obviously the vaccine stuff. There's a big disagreement there.
The only reason that I'll say I probably think it's Pete is because it is true that he did, and it has nothing to do with what I think's happening on in the confirmation hearing. I think he's doing great. But Pete might be the weakest link because of that information he concealed from the Trump campaign, and Um, I think they're behind him. I think they're fully behind him. But if push comes to shove, and it's like there's one vote,
Mhm.
yeah, I honestly think
Hegseth will
RFK.
probably be. I think Hegseth's going to be party line, but
I
um,
think I think Hegseth I think all three go through. Like that's my honest opinion. I think all three go through, but I think actually Tulsi will be fine. Tulsi will be fine. I'm worried the most repeat.
All right.
We
I guess
need
we'll
him.
see what Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski think, because if either of them are showing any opposition to Pete, you can probably call it a deal. It's done.
All right, American
Yeah.
Nerd for 10. The only boomers I liked in any piece of pop culture were the couple from the movie Field of Dreams because they held on to their beliefs, were supportive of each other, and admitted their past mistakes. Well, again, like, yeah, the boomer generation. Again, not every boomer's like that, but
Like I'll contrast this because I was actually going to be like, wait a second, I know an exception to this rule. My pawpaw, who died about 8 years ago now, um, but I actually stopped and thought about it, and he's actually from the silent generation. But he left his property, his car, his everything to us, and I ended up inheriting his car. We ended up getting his property, which is a beautiful house with a pond. Um, but what I remember, the thing that I wanted to point out was that he
Sorry,
felt
I
such
gotta
a
go.
okay, go ahead later, Texan. He felt such a responsibility to leave something behind to everyone that he hid his cancer from the entire household, from the entire family, a very large extended family that was checking on him every day. He told nobody that he had cancer, and when they asked him why, he was like, "Well, I would have wasted all of the money I had saved for you guys fighting the cancer." And he knew that he just wasn't going to make it. So that was a sacrifice that my papa made silently as a member of the silent generation for my family to leave something behind. And I just don't see that spirit in a lot of boomers or even my other grandfather that's still alive. I don't see it in him. He's he actually he took me out to lunch the other day, and that he used money from my wallet to buy lunch for me.
oh my
So that
gosh.
was so that's the boomer generation to me. Like
That's the
it's
mindset.
my
It's I don't know why though. It's like you would think with right after World War II with the 50s, you would think that would be like the best generation to live in. I obviously it wasn't
yeah.
perfect the 50s, but like it's you would think with everything that happened with the development of the country in the 50s, with the economic boom, with everything going right, you think this would be one of the best generations. But well, enough said. Chancellor Drazik for 2. Boomers and rhinos ruined Reagan's legacy. Yeah, that's true. Walk Talk 21 for 5. Boomers are the type that vote for McKinley and then vote against Roosevelt because of imperialism, and he is too radical. Well, no. The boomer generation, again, I've talked about this at great length. They're the generation, and say what you will about Vietnam, but they refused to fight in Vietnam. When they were drafted, they bailed. That's a fact. Listen, you have your opinion on Vietnam if it was right or wrong. That's not the purpose. They were drafted, okay? And a lot of them refused to go. But the millisecond they were too old to serve, or that they were outside the age to be drafted, out of nowhere, this same generation began to support wars across the entire world. That's true. This generation pushed heavily for the war in Afghanistan, Afghanistan, I should say Iraq. Syria, Iraq, all of it. They supported every single major conflict since the 80s. This same generation refused to go to the Vietnam, but they sent your sons to die in Iraq. There's a truth in it. That's the truth. Like, I'm not trying to bash them, it's a fact. This generation refused to serve.
No.
And the scary part is, I think someone brought this up in chat, 1% of the world's wealth is owned by boomers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like 80%. And this generation refuses to give it to people. What's going to happen in 20 years when they all die? They're all going to die eventually, and they're not going to give any of it away?
Well, right. And, I saw a comic, it was very illustrative. It was them, like, boomers screaming about not paying off student loans or whatever. And I'm not, like, someone that is big on, oh, you got to give help to people who have student loans now. But the point was that they cry and scream about potentially having to help pay for student loans in the giant, like, Ponzi scheme we've created in the university system. And then it showed that that same person had the Social Security on their backs, because that's going to be something that crushes us during our adulthood and for the rest of it. And I promise you, there's probably not going to be anything for us when we're old. So whatever, save up whatever you need by the end, because these programs that
They're gonna
our
fall apart.
elderly benefit from, they're not going to be there. There might be some state, if you live in a good state, your state might take care of you, but don't count on the federal government taking care of you. So save up for yourself. And the most important lesson is not to crap all over boomers, but what we're trying to do by telling you what the boomers did is to be different. And I want each and every one of you to like live with the mentality that you're planting a tree under which the shade you will never experience. Like, plant the tree for, even if you don't have kids, for everybody else's grandkids and great grandkids. Like, approach life like that. Like you're willing to work for future generations and not just waste all of your money. We have to be selfless like that. We have to think about the future.
Yeah, but it's scary, the fact that how many years till Social Security actually runs out? I know we've said this like 100 times now, but how much longer do we got? Because that whole program's going to crater in eventually. There's no way it's sustainable. It's just not. So we'll see. We shall see. SOVN for 65. Boomers own more than 70% of the world's wealth. In Europe, boomers spend their money on literally anything, and old ladies sue the government because it was hot. Well, yeah, that's not surprised by that. Chance Drazik for 2. Boomers treated Vietnam vets like dirt, FYI. Yeah, the ones that actually served, they got treated like shit by these same people that refuse to go.
Yep.
I mean, it's just unbelievable what happened during that conflict. Again, you don't have to say the Vietnam War was a good idea. That's not the whole point. They were drafted. And every other generation before them went to war when they were drafted. They were the first one to actually have that type of movement, to not get drafted. It's a fact.
The Pacific Theater was really bad in World War II, but when you look at like the finer details of what soldiers had to go through in Vietnam, it's like unspeakable things happened to them, and it's stuff that I think I don't have the constitution to be able to bear with. And so to treat people like that actually went there and fought, and to went through all of those horrors that the Viet Cong and everybody else set up from that. Oh gosh, that's horrible. No.
I mean,
Don't
Vietnam was just brutal. It was bad.
Just look up a YouTube short on their freaking bamboo traps. Like, you find out pretty quickly. Like, it's, oh gosh.
Take one wrong step and you're literally dead by a spike. So good luck.
Yeah.
American Nerd for 5. Rap. This is why I'm somewhat supportive of suspending Social Security and Medicare for the boomers who destroyed our country and society. Well, you can't really do that.
You can't do that.
But
You just can't. Like, again, you have to think about us as a political machine, right? I know Ben Shapiro and a bunch of other people want to cut these programs and they want to stop them, but it's basically it's what the controlled opposition wants to do, because they don't mind if they lose power and the Democrats get in charge again. But the second that we cut these programs and we put these people, I know people who live on Social Security and that live on Medicare. They have nothing.
Yeah.
They will starve. They will be neglected. Like, horrible things will happen to them. And then all of the mainstream media will cover this in fine, minute detail, and they will use it to try and lock Republicans out of power for another 10, 20 years. Do not let them do that.
Disturbing History has a good compilation video of different episodes he made on the horrors of the Vietnam War. Yeah, again, there's some graphic videos out there, but if you want to delve into it, go look it up. It gets pretty bad, but that's what they had to go through at Vietnam. So, alright, so I think enough of that. We gotta talk about the external revenue thing, because this is out of nowhere that Trump announced this. So
I love this.
alright, of course Trump announced this. For those that don't know, Trump just announced on Truth Social that they're gonna create a external revenue source to collect tariffs, duties, and all revenue that come from foreign sources. I love this idea. Like, we have an IRS, we have an internal revenue service, which is garbage. It needs to be gutted. But why don't we have an external one to collect our tariffs, duties, all that? And Trump just announced, you know what? we have an external revenue source starting on January 20th. I mean, hey, I support it.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Beautiful.
Because, like, I've always wondered, like, we have an eternal one, but not an external one? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why is it only eternal? Well, why can't we collect tariffs? Like, wait a minute. What are we doing here? But yeah, it's the ERS. That's the name of it. And I love this. I hope Trump actually goes through with it. I think he will. Like, if this is Trump, he doesn't just announce random things like this and doesn't do it. He does it. Now, the question is, how will this, like, function? Will it be like the IRS where they just, like, do their shit? Or is it actually just, like, I don't know. Like, John, how do you think this is gonna go? Like, is this a copy of the IRS, or?
I want every single one of you to imagine the ruthlessness with which the Internal Revenue Service pursues American citizens, persecutes American citizens, harasses them, extracts every last penny from them. They would suck every drop of blood out of your body until you're bone dry. Now imagine that we direct people with that kind of energy to all the people screwing us over across the planet.
Yeah.
So we're talking about bad corporations, we're talking about bad trades, we're talking about foreign companies and countries. There are a lot of countries on the planet that simply exist because we allow them to exist, and they do not pay us a dime. I hope that this is what this evolves into, is basically, if you want America to be the defense force of the planet and maintain the current global hegemony, pay up. It's time to pay up, partner.
Yeah, pay up. Give us your money. All right, American Nerd for 5. Rap, just be clear, I don't want to cut. I just don't want boomers to get any of those benefits, as they need to be punished for screwing things up. Well, not every boomer's like that. It's just a generation that whole screw everyone over. So, Champs raising for 2, and boomers complain about a generation they raised. Exactly. This is the stupidest thing. They complain about the generation they raised. I love it. All right. SOVN for 27. Old lady use inheritance to sue for climate laws. Are you serious? So she just wasted over her inheritance on climate laws. Well, that's that generation in a nutshell. Mike for 2. Hate the war, love the warrior. Real.
Very true.
Very true.
Is Sean advocating for countries to start annexing their neighbors? No.
Yes.
I'm saying that we're
yes.
Don't put words in my mouth.
No, we're gonna annex Canada. We're taking it over.
We're exacting our price from the people who have been exploiting us. And yeah, that does include places like Panama. It includes places like Canada. It includes places like Greenland. And if Canada cannot sustain itself without exploiting us, then yeah, no, we need a different economic agreement. We need a trade union. We need a special economic deal where they give us something worth what they're taking out. That's like what Trump's all about. I think that's why it's even in conversation right now. We're going to get what we deserve from the people we're protecting across the planet.
All right, we need a modern tribute system. We should just make Canada a tribute. Same with Greenland.
Yep.
Hold up. SOVN for 27. Not her inheritance, lol. That's the insane part. Wait, what? It's not even her inheritance. Oh my gosh. It was her kid's inheritance that she wasted on the oh my gosh. Is that real? I gotta look that up. American Nerd for 2. Social Security will be insolvent by the 2030s. Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's a ticking time bomb.
Yep.
And I don't know how to fix it, honestly. How do you fix it in just 10 years?
My proposition has always been devolution, and the reason is because the way that the system's currently functioning, with both healthcare and Social Security, we're not going to be able to sustain them at the top. They're just infinitely inflating time bombs. But if you bring it down a level and you get rid of a layer of bureaucracy with it, you can probably have most states perform really well, and then perhaps the federal government and other state governments intervene in the most poorly performing states. And then I really think that's the only thing you can do with a lot of these systems. To just take them down, The further down that we drag these systems from, like, the more local they are, the easier it is to keep people from dying, to keep people from starving, to keep people from going through horrible things. When Social Security and Medicare collapse, I think it's the only solution.
Hmm. Let's see. Trump brings back NAFTA. He's not bringing back NAFTA. Why would he? He's already got a trade deal done. Let's see. We can fix Social Security by preventing the government from stealing money from it. Yeah, but you still got a big
They'll
problem.
never.
You got a big problem where there's not enough money going in. That's a problem. No matter
Yeah, the primary problem is, like, we had decades to resolve this, and we had decades to get Congress to keep from putting their little porky fingers inside of Social Security. And what Congress proved to us is that they are incapable of responsibly handling that money. And that
even
is why I
Social
propose,
Security.
yeah,
Uh,
I propose bringing it down to the state level, or even lower if need be, but definitely the state level, because simply put, they are held to a higher degree of accountability than our federal system is.
honestly, I know this
Um,
like at first it sounds crazy, but actually look at Scandinavia, what they do. I think they have a
yeah.
better system. And I know that sounds
Um,
crazy, but look up the Scandinavian. I think it's Sweden specifically. They have a really good system over there. So again, I don't think it could. The problem is, could it work here? I don't know, but like there are systems out there that are way better than we currently got. The whole system right now is a joke. The Social Security, just get rid of it, or I should say, reform it.
yeah, it's scale. The problem is scale. That it's the problem with everything, and it's the same reason why we have failed to implement systems like Australia's health system or any Scandinavian system. We're just too large at scale, and that's why I agree with the best states supporting themselves, and then maybe weaker states, lower revenue states, forming regional coalitions, and hopefully getting help from the better states. Like, ultimately, the only way you're going to fix this, get it away from federal government. Federal government has proven that they cannot handle this. They cannot handle this. So
Yeah,
I believe in those systems. I'm not some sort of, like, I'm not a neocon, and I'm not someone that believes in, like, not having these systems. I think social safety nets are a beautiful thing, and my family members rely on them. But I know that they would be better taken care of by people from the state of Florida than they would by people from the United States federal government.
all right, American Nerd for 3. Do what Al Gore wanted to put in a lockbox. Oh gosh. Well, I mean, you gotta
Well,
do
would
something.
would have been better. It would have
You
been better.
gotta do something because this whole thing, like, it's the whole system never made. Even when it was first made, it made no sense in the first place.
No.
But now it's like, okay, this is ridiculous. Which, by the way, again, that's another thing with FDR. But I'm not gonna get into that
Yep.
because I have my own opinions on FDR. So, yeah. All right.
Yep.
Can we
I agree
potentially
with you, Riley.
make the nations that owe us money pay up and put that money towards Social Security? Well, you need more. You're not gonna get that money. We'll just be real. That money's gone. It's not gonna happen.
I mean, I'm all for extortion. And extortion of other people that aren't us. But yeah, it's unfortunately you're gonna have a lot of trouble unless we have, like, actual sufficient pressure. We're gonna have to find countries that we have pressure to apply to, and there are dozens of countries we can apply pressure to, militarily, financially, just to give them to pay us what we've been owed, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
This is a good take by a snapshot of history. FDR was good for World War II, terrible in the Depression. Exactly. He was a good president during World War II, but during the Great Depression, he sucked. That's the truth in it. His policies didn't work. I'm sorry, but that's the truth in it. What got us out of the Great Depression was World War II. So,
I agree. I have a different opinion, but I totally agree with that last statement. The World War II was what got us out of the Great Depression.
oh my god. What about the first part? What do you mean by that? Wait a minute.
Obviously, people are gonna know that I'm more of a localist, and I have a lot of troubles with how the economy on the federal scale has kind of developed, and FDR was a big player in that, and ultimately, I mean, honestly, I mean, if you are a fan of Benito Mussolini, then you should have no problems with the way FDR ran the country during the Depression or World War II. I think that he was absolutely following the people that he admired the most on the world
Oh
stage
my,
when he was
okay.
designing the American economy.
Anyways,
Um,
gosh.
no, I just don't believe in that, but I totally agree. FDR got into a war to fix his terrible system. Yes, I agree.
Okay, anyways, SOVN for 27. Yeah, rap, become IKEA pilled. Here inheritance is law. Well, again, the problem with the Nordic model is it just, I don't think it can be over-replicated here. That's a problem.
Hey guys,
Oh, hey, Tyrone.
Hey, Tyrone.
I start my training literally tomorrow. I will be out of here before the month of August starts.
Damn. Well, good luck, good sir.
Yeah, y'all are also about to hear me shit my guts out. No, I'm kidding. I'm up for that part. What are we talking about?
We were talking.
Actually, I would like to mention Trump's External Revenue Service. Welcome back, 19th century American economics.
Yep.
We are literally returning to Hamiltonian economics. Sorry, John.
No, I think this actually is the right step, and as someone who is not Hamiltonian, we need competent Hamiltonians in charge of the economy,
Wait, you don't
so
like
that I can.
Hamiltonians?
Oh yeah, no. I'm very Jeffersonian in orientation, and what I would say, but the reason I am such a deep admirer of JD Vance and Donald Trump is because they want to actually look. I appreciate a functional government over a government that perfectly fits my ideology. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So once we get back to a functional government, then we can talk ideology, and then we can talk about decentralization, and we can talk about all these other things. But yeah, no, getting back to the Hamiltonian economy is actually the first step towards what I want. So I'm all cool with that. So
All right, Lord Rhino for 2. Huey Long for president. I have my opinion on Huey Long. That's what I'm gonna say. I certainly have an opinion on the guy. I don't know about the other two here. I don't know what John and Tyrone think, but I have a take on him. So,
I couldn't. Nope, no opinion.
Wait, what? What was the question?
What's your opinion on Huey Long?
I'm actually going to be the Debbie Downer here. He was corrupt in ways that were excessive. Like, he intentionally changed the standard for how long pools should be in Louisiana schools, just despite the national something or other association, because they were like, well, you can't have your pools be this long. And they said, well, fuck you. So he literally disqualified swimmers in Louisiana from being able to compete at a national level. And he still ultimately gave seats to pro FDR New Deal Democrats over any independents or Republicans. So I still have a pretty negative opinion of Huey Long. I'm sorry.
It's a really deep and long conversation, and we would have to get very nerdy to explain it. But yeah, basically, I agree with what Tyrone said.
Huey Long
I was trying to avoid it.
Huey Long was still a party line Democrat who was willing to side with New Dealers and progressives over Southern conservative Republicans, because he was ultimately a party. He was a part of it. He was a machine boss, and it led to a lot of things that contributed to the long-term dysfunction of Louisiana. And I'm very passionate about shit talking Huey Long because I have family in Louisiana, and I grew up like less than 30 minutes away from the Louisiana border. They're very much so my cultural kin. So when I see all these fucking the based XYZ kids online who are fucking 15, 16 years old, and they just fucking absentmindedly suck Huey Long's legacy off, it's like, y'all actually have no fucking clue of how bad he actually was.
All right. K-Cup for 2. FDR never really stood up for America, to be honest. Oh, that's too soon.
So true.
Ben Cynics for 5. Per Newswire, Biden's going to lift Cuba's designation as a sponsor of terror. Really? Why? What's the point? I don't get some of this stuff. It's just so random. It's
I'll be back on in a couple.
Thank you. Why is he, like, he's doing the most random things, like, why? What's the point of that? It's just a spite
I feel
Trump?
the last couple of months of the Biden administration have been an accelerated and very heated version of what they've been doing over the past 4 years, and it's I can't decipher any message from it other than genuine spite and hatred to not only to Donald Trump's new administration, but to the American people that voted for him. I can't. This doesn't make any sense. Why would you remove Cuba as a sponsor of terror? They, I don't know how much you guys know about Cuban politics. It's
Not good.
not gotten any better from the
Castro.
standards that we would want. Yeah. No.
Yeah, when did Castro die again? Was it like 10 years ago?
Why do you think all of the Cubans in South Florida are way more conservative than anybody ever predicted?
Yeah.
What do you think? What were they escaping from, guys? What do you think? No, it's very obvious. Whatever you want to do, this is just I genuinely think Biden just wants us all to know that he hates us. And that's okay, because he will lose power in 6 days, so.
All right. Mike,
The national nightmare is coming to an end. Stand fast, brothers and sisters.
all right. Mike for 2. So Huey Long was Bernie Sanders in the 1930s.
He was no, because Bernie Sanders isn't nearly as policy and corrupt to do what Huey Long did. Huey Long was a literal thug. He was a fucking. I'm just gonna say it. Huey Long was basically a fucking gangster. I mean, like, he was literally friends with the New Orleans Mafia at the time.
All right. Hey, Rap, what's the political future of Maricopa County? I don't know. Atlanta, not good in Atlanta, but I guess we'll see. But, yeah. All right. So I think that's kind of it for today, everybody. Thank you all so much for the support the past couple weeks. It's been incredible. We are back to streaming and then do the videos now. So we'll have a video up today. I want to talk about Trump's favorability going up by, I think it's like majority positive now for the first time ever. So yeah, we'll be back later today with a video out. I don't know when, probably like 4 or 5 hours. We'll see. But thank you all so much. We are back to the regular schedule. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, join the channel today. All great ways to support the daily content. And yeah. Well, any last words, everybody?
I just fucking got here.
Oh.
You can hate small government, you can hate whatever, and I'm just responding to a comment, but ultimately, if you do not realize the systemic failures of our federal system and not want more competent governance and more accountability, I don't know what to say to you. I say to everybody who's wants a bunch of social care systems and a bunch of government, do it at the state level and make your big government a state government and see how it works out for you. Leave me and my southern brothers alone and let us do our own thing. And that's what I ultimately think was the point of America, was giant, let everybody try their own thing, and the stuff that works the best gets adopted by everyone.
Speaking of effective governance, everybody everybody get out your apology letters for fucking wrong decision.
Oh yeah, get it out for Ron. Yeah, thanks.
All right,
thank you, Governor DeSantis, for the immigration stuff.
Final super chat before we end. Q2 Spire for 5. Hope you had a good stream. Yep, we are back. It feels good to be back. So, all right, we'll see you guys in the next stream video, wherever you see me at. Godspeed to all of you. Actually, before John, plug your channel before I forget.
Hey, so if you can check me out, the @ is MAGA Wizard on YouTube. The channel's titled John Rose. Making weekday content. Just made a Lady MAGA video yesterday. I'll have something coming up later today. We're gonna crap on James Lindsay later. So hope you guys tune in. God bless.
All right. See you guys next time.